Hey folks, hope you're doing well today. Say I'm doing one of the last maintenance items that I think might be critical on the 1988 KLR 250. Oh, wait a minute. I need some coffee first. Maybe I should keep that out of the way, huh? Anyways, last and critical maintenance item on the KLR 250, and that is there is an oil screen back behind here that needs to be serviced or supposed to be serviced according to the manual every time you do clutch stuff. But seeing as how I have no maintenance history on this bike, I want to check that out. And also, I will say too, the KLR 650, I don't know if it's all model years or just certain ones, share the same style oil screen behind the clutch cover here. So in order to do that, in order to get in there, I need to take the skid plate off. I need to take the brake lever off. I need to take the kickstarter off. I need to drain the oil. Did I say drain the coolant? I got to drain the coolant. Take the oil filter off. And also got to take my clutch cable off here, which is kind of a booger. That's probably going to be the most difficult part, I assume, is this clutch cable. So let's get moving on that, and I'll start taking stuff apart. Okay. I'll say before I get too far into it, before I start tearing down, probably on my particular bike, probably the most difficult part of this is removing the clutch cable. There's a bolt associated back there. This is the original bolt right here that I replaced. I was monkeying with this for like an hour trying to get it off, following the instructions on in the manual. And man, I just had a booger every time. Basically what it is, you're supposed to be able to turn these nuts down, and there's a slot in the back of this. It's like a little loop. There's a slot in the back there. You're supposed to be able to pull all this back and get the cable through that loop, but I'm thinking this isn't the OEM clutch cable, because I could not for the life of me pull all of this all the way back to get that cable through there. So I actually replaced that bolt, because this bolt to get to was a pain in the butt. It would be a lot easier if I took the exhaust off, which I just didn't want to do, because I'm lazy, I guess, but trying to figure out better ways around this. But that's going to be our biggest challenge, is getting the clutch cable off. Everything else is going to come off pretty easy. You know, as you can see, I'm still draining the oil and the coolant, and I'm going to head to the hardware store right now. And I think I'm going to go to Holiday and either Casey's and get me either some breakfast pizza or a breakfast burger, something like that, and maybe another cup of coffee. All right, let's just start tearing this down now. Hardware store doesn't open for another 30 minutes, and I don't want to just sit around. So first thing I'm going to take off is the brake lever, and we've got the spring here associated with it. So I'm going to take that spring off. I think I could just get this with my pliers. It's just hooked around there. Yep, there it goes. Okay. And I think I can just leave that out. The cotter pin and the brake lever, I'm going to take that out. Get my little hooky tool here. See if I can't pull it out with that. Maybe I better use my little needle nose pliers. I probably need to replace that. Oh, that's tight. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. She don't want to come off. There we go. Okay. Cotter pin. I'm using number 3. This is a JIS number 3. I think it's number 3. This is a vessel. Great stuff. I did loosen this ahead of time. This is an impact. It's great for impacting stuck screws. I think it rotates like 12 degrees. When you hit it, it goes boop. So, man, that's in there. Oofda. I don't know that I would want this to be JIS or Phillips head style, because it can get stripped out. I'd almost rather have a regular bolt in there. Okay, let's set that aside. That's done. Now, can we get the brake lever off without issue? Come on, baby. Maybe I should get a screwdriver. Help me pry it off. Maybe. Can't really get anything in there. There we go. There it goes. Okay. Come on. Oh, this is stuck on there. I've got to get this pen out somehow. It's a washer. I've got to get that pin out. There's a pin that goes through there. I don't have enough room. I wonder if I... Nope, that won't work. How do I get that out of there without bending this thing? Can I pry it some more? Let's try that. Let's try prying it. Gently. Maybe I get that pen out now. There it goes. Okay, pen's out. There's the pen. Should be able to get... There we go. That's off. There's a spring on the brake lever. It looks like it needs to be pried out. I don't know how much tension's on there. Shouldn't be too much. There we go. Spring is off. There's the spring. Spring looks good. So I'll put the brake lever aside. Next, we need the kickstarter off. I believe that's a 12. There we go. Okay. Nope, wrong way. I did mark this too so I know where it was. Pen washer. Bolt for the Kickstarter. Get that out. Hopefully the Kickstarter will come out easily. Let's see. Oh yes. Yeah, a little tight. There we go. Okay. Put that bolt back in there so I don't lose her. Because I am a professional at losing stuff. I'm really good at it. You know, I wonder if I could loosen the cover up and get that bolt out of there. I don't know. I'm going to have to take off the oil filter. Let's do that now. That's... I think there's just 2 bolts. One. Two, they're the same length. I will say too, the only video I could find on removing this was for a KLR 650. So they are the same, if not identical. If that helps at all, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm going to take off these bolts. I better get a longer extension though. That was too short. Which one of these will work best? That'll work. This one's just too short. 8mm. $8mm socket. Going in for the kill. Okay, let's start here. I like to do these by hand instead of with a... I like to do them all by hand instead of with a an impact. I just like to feel it, you know. Even putting it back on, I like to feel it. I should really get... I wonder if I have any... Okay, there's one. I really should have made a cardboard template. Let me get through all these. Oh, you know what I forgot? I got to take this water pump off first before I do all that. So I should do that now. You know, I don't even know if I needed to take the oil filter cover off. We'll see when we get everything off. I'm going to go ahead and take it off anyways. I do have new gaskets for the water pump. There's one bolt. Ooh, that's all crusty. Look at that. One. And I think the only reason we have to take the impeller off of this. And that's the only reason this needs to come off. So there's 1, 2, 3. Those are all different lengths. I get my hammer out. Oh, that was not on there too terribly tight. Gasket tore up. Looks okay in there. I'm going to put these bolts back in here so I don't lose them. 1, 2, I think that was right. And 3. Keep those there. That looks like a 10 millimeter. So let's see how that comes off. Yes, that's a 10 millimeter. And there is a washer behind that too. The washer. Make sure we don't lose that. The impeller, I think this you just turn it counterclockwise, I believe. I think looking at the diagrams, I believe there's a washer behind this as well. So we'll be watching out for that real careful, like spin it off. I'm gonna put my hand underneath there in case I drop something. God, them pecs are sharp. Dang. Don't want to force it. Yes, there is a washer behind there. Ow, son of a. There's a little washer behind there. Goes right there. So, I think I can put that over there safely. I'm going to put that there. Some kind of seal here, it looks like, with a spring on it. There. Put that there, and that goes I think this this step here goes in towards the motor. Anything else on there? That looks like it. Yeah, okay, so now I think we can, I don't think I need to take the oil filter off, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and start. Where's my wrench? I'm going to go ahead and start getting all the rest of the bolts off. Okay, I think that's all of them. I'm going to loosen this as well. And this holds this is the clutch, I guess you'd call it actuator rod, something like that. I am concerned here, this is the water pump seal right here. There's this like a sleeve on here that's got notches on it that I don't know if I'll be able to get that out of there. I'm not sure. If I can't, then we have a problem. And this also has a crush washer on it. It looks a little boogered up. Can we see that? So I'll be looking to get a new one of those. Got all the washers out. I am going to clean up this Kickstarter shaft a little bit, get all the dirt off of it as best I can. I'm going to spray a little WD-40 on here just to give it some lubrication as I pull it off. Just got to find my WD-40. Where'd I put it? It's up here. Here it is. Like I said, I'm going to try and see if I can't pull all this off. without taking this rod out. I don't know. There we go. Let's give her a little tappy tap. Pretty sure I got all the bolts out. Pretty sure I should double check. There's a nut underneath there. I don't know what that does. Or a bolt, I'm sorry. I don't know what that does. She's moving. I should just take this off just cause. Come on. Well, it's on there, isn't it? Yep. I wonder if I have a little screwdriver to pry that off with. Just gently. And don't take any mechanical advice from me, folks. I'm just doing this, kind of struggling through it. Giving the community some information. You may need to correct me. I don't know. Okay, there's the oil filter cover. Let's use some, there's a sleeve in here. There we go. This filter is fairly new, so I'm going to reuse it. Okay, let's see if we can't get this cover off now. Did I miss any bolts? Sure does feel tight. She moving? Don't know. Trying to move. I think this rod's preventing me, so let me dig into that some more and I'll get back to you. Try and get that bolt out of there. It'll take a little doing. I did shorten out a 4mm Allen wrench just for this particular bolt. There we go. Okay, here's the bolt I was using. This is a stainless steel 6mm. It's kind of like a furniture bolt I got off of Amazon, and I've been using it. You can see here, 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 and here, and here. I've been using them for my panels instead of using the Phillips. It just eliminates one tool instead of using a JIS. All I need is a 4mm Allen for everything. So now should be able to get this arm out of here. I need to, geez. I think I gotta pull this back a bit. Oh, I should have loosened those beforehand, huh? Yep. I think I can get it out without that. You gotta, there's a little round boss in there that you've got to feed through. I think if I take this actuator thingy off, where's my screwdriver? There it is. I think it's got to come this way. Maybe I can get it off this way. Got to kind of push the cable forward and then pull it out. I don't know if I use my needle nose pliers. It's getting stuck. It's hitting that arm. I almost got to have it all the way back there. Dang, what a pain in the butt. What a pain in the butt. It's almost out. Had I loosened that up, I think I would have been okay. Let me try and get this loose. Maybe I can. Let me get a screwdriver in there. Come on, bust loose. There we go. That might give me a little more play now. Give me a little more slack in this cable. And I'll obviously have to adjust the clutch cable once I get everything back together. Now I can move this rubber boot. Let me take this out of the way. No. There's probably an easier way to do this. I'm probably just messing it up really bad. I don't know. But now I can move that. I think I can move that boot out of the way more. Maybe, maybe not. I need to have this back like so. And grab onto the cable. There it goes. Okay, there we go. See that little boss on there? You got to feed that through this little bracket here. So now I think this should come out. There we go. Okay, there it is. There's no O-ring. Oh, there is no O-ring up here. There is no O-ring right there. I'll have to inspect that, make sure that's okay. So now maybe the clutch cover, or this clutch cover will come off. Oh yeah, there it goes. There we go. Oh, okay, this little sleeve right here I was worried about. Oh, oil. It's coming off with the cover itself, so that's good. I gotta let that oil drain out, otherwise I'm gonna spill it all over the floor. And my floor is so pretty. Look how nice and neat my floor is. Oh, nope, it's not. Okay. I will say too, all of the bolts, I think I said this before, all of the bolts on this clutch cover were the same length, so I don't have to worry about mixing anything up. I think, get these hoses out of the way. Okay. See, there's the oil screen right there. And it looks, let's see now. It's got some crud on it. Looks like some gasket material. So I'm gonna, you can see that there, some gasket material. And the reason why you need to do this on these bikes is they already have issues with oil starvation, and they can burn up your cams. So, okay, about time to put everything back together. This gasket did come off real clean in one piece. This looks like gasket material, but it's not. It's just discoloration. I did put a very, very thin layer of gasket maker on the cover here. So I'm going to leave that be. I will say too, one thing I'm glad I noticed, but for the KLR 250, there was this one washer that was stuck to the cover that goes on the Kickstarter. So watch out for that if you have a KLR 650. It goes back in there. So let's get this cover back on. I believe we're ready to get. Oh no, I got to put the screen back in, don't I? Yeah. One thing I'll say too, I did do some digging in this hole right here where the screen goes, and there was some more. I got some more crud out of there. Some more crud. So I'm not sure if that's from the manufacturing process or what, but it was there. So I'm just gonna stick this back in here. Just fits in that hole right there. All that trouble just for that. So let's get this cover back on. Need another sip of coffee. Not coffee, cappuccino. I don't know why I got cappuccino, but I did. Okay, cover goes back on. She's all ready to go. The dowel pins are in there. Need to be careful how I got to get these hoses out of the way. Okay, come on. I should have taken those hoses off, maybe. Maybe. There we go. We can't just gently slide her in there. Get out of the way, Mr. Hoses. something sticking. Not sure what. I don't want to force it, that's for sure. Yeah, maybe it's going in crooked. Crud all over my hands now. Dang it. So hopefully it won't leak. The gasket won't leak. Let me work with it. Okay, I just had to wiggle the case back on, and I got all the bolts tight. Torqued to my specs, I guess. I'm real careful when I torque these bolts. I don't use a torque wrench because, like on my KTM, even going with the torque specs, I strip bolts out. So I just kind of go by feel nowadays. I guess I don't know. It's just a feeling I get. It's just like a mini ugga-dugga. Right now I'm working on cleaning up the the water pump housing cover. I got the gasket material all off of here, new gasket on, and working on this side. I was going to say, there's a file I've been using for a long time. This one here, it's an ultra fine file. But once I get some of the gasket material off, I can just go over the cover. You know, if there's any burrs on there, that'll get that off. And you can kind of tell when you get all the gasket material off because you'll have that metallic scrapey sound. And this particular one, it's kind of got sharp edges on it. They aren't sharp, knife sharp, but I can use it as a scraper, like to get some of this crud off. So let me do all that, then we'll get everything back together, and okay, putting the water pump back together. Kind of sort of almost had a panic attack because this part here, it's got this flat surface and it's got a surface with the boss. I'm like, oh dang, can't remember which way that went, but looking in the book, this part with a step in it goes out. So also another telltale sign, I guess you could say. I don't know if we can see it. Let me see if I can get in here really close. See right here, there's like these two little, I don't know if we'll be able to see it, two little out dents. I don't know how to say that, but let me get you in here. Let me get you in here. This part here has two little indentations as well. It's almost like it's keyed in. And I also did put just some waterproof grease just to lubricate it temporarily until, I don't know, maybe that's a bad idea. But I'm going to press this on. And I will say, too, I looked at the KLR 650 parts list, and I believe if this is the mechanical seal, it's exact same part. Exact same part. Okay, so that's on. Now we get the impeller, and important to note, let me clean that up there. A little dirty in there. This part is replaceable. There is an O-ring here, so that needs to be inspected. That looks okay. And we need to get this, they call this a shim. Looks like a washer to me, but it's a shim. I'm just gonna clean that up a little bit. That'll go on here, like so. And I did grease this up a little bit too. So the impeller, just kind of spin it on, like so. I think that's correct. And that piece I just put in, it's spring loaded. So yeah, it's spring loaded. So for this, I'm going to put the washer on there, and then the nut. This is not a nylock, it's just a nut. That'll be a 10 millimeter. I'll have to look up the torque specs, but kind of what I've seen before. It's just, you just tighten it down. This will actually turn the crank too. If you get it too tight, you'll actually turn the motor over. So I'm just going to give it one little mini ugga-dugga. You got to kind of hold it. There we go. I think that's connected directly to the crank. Alrighty. Let's get our gasket on. This has a couple of locating pins. So gasket is on. Let me get that locating. Oh, geez. Stay. Carefully get that on there. It won't stay. I need to bend it out or something. It's kind of frustrating, isn't it? Okay, there's that. Our cover is all cleaned up. Our little things here are kind of sort of cleaned up. I did put when I pulled this off, the drain screw, there was no washer underneath there, but looking at the parts list, there is. I happen to have a crush washer copper one that I put on there. So I'm going to put that on there like so. Is it on? Yes, it is. Long bolt goes on top here. And these two other bolts are identical length. I'm just going to put those on just to locate it. Get my wrench. Just going to just barely snug these down for now. I was debating whether or not I would put some forma gasket or gasket, not forma gasket, what do you call it though? What do you call that stuff? Gasket maker. I thought, you know, this is easy enough to get to, and coolant is, you know, cheap enough. It's easy enough to drain out, so I'm just going to snug those up barely. And what I said by feel, I can feel the gasket kind of crushing right now. That one's tight. That one's tight. That one's tight. Then I'm just going to give it a little and a little Just go back and check. Don't want to strip these out. I've done that on the KTM. Of course, the KTM case is made of butter. And maybe Kawasaki used better material. I did get some new hose clamps. I'm not going to do that now. I'm just going to try and save some time. Now we got to get the clutch. Oh dang! I should have showed you how this works. Should have showed you how that works. I did grease up this O-ring right here. So I believe this has to go. That catches a rod that comes out of the clutch, so you kind of got to go past that rod. That'll go down, and that might not be the right place. See if we can't turn it and get it to catch. It should be it there. But I don't know. Let me try and play with this a little bit. Should catch. It's got to go down. So it goes down there. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Okay, now we're good. Now we're good. Okay, now we got to get our clutch cable back on. Did I forget anything? Did I forget anything? Looking at all my parts, the only thing I haven't done is the hoses. But our clutch cable, let me get my pliers. This might be a pain in the butt, and I really can't show it very well. I think it goes on easier than it comes off, I recall. Got to get that started in there. Kind of got to bend it all the way back. Get some slack in there, or some room in there. Let me get my needle nose. So this is probably the most difficult part of this whole thing. Getting this sucker on here. And I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure this is even the correct cable. I can't push that up anymore. It really shouldn't be this difficult. Let me fiddle with it. Okay, now that was a pain in the butt. Did get it, but gosh, it just doesn't seem right. Just doesn't. I did want to show too, right here, you can see how this bracket has this slot in it. you're supposed to be able to slide this cable with this attached all the way down here to this cable, and there's just no way. There's not enough room. Can't do it. So I'm wondering if this is not the original cable. I don't know, because it just won't go, bro. It just won't go. So now I got to struggle with getting that bolt down in that hole. So I'll try it with the camera on. Let's see how it goes. I don't know. I think if I can get it in that hole with the exhaust off, it would be a lot easier. But I'm just gonna kind of put my, I should really put some Loctite on there. Just dab. Just one itty bitty dab of Loctite. Oh, that's more than itty bitty. That's a lot. That'll be enough. Little dab will do you. Okay, now I'm going to get that bolt started in the hole. And I'm just going to use my fingers to just kind of sort of get her started. Easier said than done. Where's that hole?
2,000 years later.
Okay, I finally got the old bolt started. I was able to get my finger in there and cut my finger up and get my wrench in there, and just I was pushing down with the tip of my finger and just turned it and finally got it. What a pain. There's got to be a better way. There's just got to be a better way. That's not it. So we'll get that down in there, and that'll be it. I do want to show you excuse me, what I did with that. Doesn't look right. There we go. What I did with my skid plate. I had to make a special bracket for that, so I will show you that quick. This is going to be kind of there's just no easy access to that bolt without taking the exhaust off. So if you're going to do this before you start, maybe consider taking the exhaust off. You get an old bike like this, you start messing with exhaust bolts, exhaust studs. You don't know if you're going to be able to get those studs out or nuts. I mean, they break. They just do. Okay, now we're tight. But now I got to get in there somehow. Just give her that little oomph. There's just no room to work. None. There we go. Okay. I'm going to back this off to where it was. I think it was about there. Right about there. You can see by the shiny marks and the dirty marks. And I might have to adjust that later on. Maybe. Let's see if it... Oh, come on. That gets to the clutch cable. See if it works. Yep. Okay, that works. Okay, the last thing I kind of wanted to show was this bracket I made for the skid plate. The skid plate I got... it had these brackets that wrapped around the frame here, and they were just so dang tight that I could not get them on. So I came up with this. It works pretty good. It's just, you can see there's kind of a radius cut. I measured carefully between the frame and put a radius cut in there and little clear out for the oil drain. So that's that. Yeah. I don't know if that'll help anybody out, but maybe. So anyways, hope you found that helpful. Hope you found that informative. If you got any questions or comments, let me know. Do the best I can to answer so everything's back together, but still got to get a crush washer for the drain bolt. I don't have one. Went to the auto parts store, hardware store. They didn't have any, so I got to figure that out. I don't know what those are for, but anyways, like I said, hope you found that helpful and informative. We will see you next disaster. Alrighty, adios. Frostbite out.